Ashlee and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Epstein emails, of course, because the internet has been going wild. And so that's literally all we're going to talk about today, because there's just so much to it and there's so much to get into and so much to watch and react to. And I am actually very excited. I have hope for the first time in a very long time. But before we get into everything, please like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, join my membership. I just posted a video about Hillary Duff and her new song Mature and who it might be about. Let's get into it. All right. So, this past week, there have been Epstein files that have been, I guess not leaked. The Democrats have just made them visible to everyone. They released some of them. I don't know why they can release some and not all. I'm not really sure, but that's what we're talking about today. Happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday. It will be a great show tonight. Yes. Are we still talking about this guy? Yes. Our second LGBT president, Donald J. Trump. I know. It's quite wild. We're definitely going to get into that. But before we get into that, I don't really have any personal news. I'm going out of town next week, so there will be another video on Wednesday. And then I went canvassing yesterday, and it was really fun. And it was just for DSA. It wasn't for it wasn't for Cori Bush, it was for DSA, but we were going out there and we were kind of like the Zoran strategy. We were going out there and we were door knocking and we were asking people like what they're most concerned about, and just talked to voters about what they're concerned about. And it was a great time, and I think I might join DSA, so I'm really excited. So just a little, join something. It was really fun, or go out and canvas. It was a good time, and it was nice to talk to regular voters about what's going on. All right, so okay, now we'll get into the fun stuff. All right, so Maxwell's horse was also named Bubba. I saw that. There's so much going on right now. It's kind of insane. So first, let's just start with the releasing of the emails, and let's start with how the White House responded to this, because the way people are responding is actually kind of the craziest part. So let's watch how the White House responds to this, because it is quite funny, quite funny. All right.
The White House just out with a new blistering response for Democrats after they released emails written by Jeffrey Epstein that reference President Trump. Here's Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
It is not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government.
Why are White House officials then meeting?
Actually, it was Democrats who caved to open the government, actually. So it wasn't like the Republicans. The Republicans wouldn't negotiate them on anything. And they added a whole bunch of crazy stuff to the CR. It was not clean. They added a hemp ban, which I don't understand. I don't understand why that happened. Also, now senators are allowed to sue each other. It's insane. And I think abortion restrictions are also in there too. The amount of things that they just let fly in this bill, that these 8 Democrats just I guess were F it, we don't care. And they had all that shit in the bill. Crazy. But anyway, it wasn't the Republicans. They did not want to negotiate on anything. It was the 8 Democrats that decided to cave. Anyway, just wanted to point that out there.
With Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files.
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show our level of transparency?
In one email from 2011, Epstein writes, quote, "The dog that hasn't barked is Trump," redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. House Oversight Republicans earlier questioned why Democrats redacted the name, saying, quote, it's because this victim, Virginia Giuffre, publicly said that she never witnessed wrongdoing by President Trump. We have CNN's Caitlin Collins, who is live at the White House. Caitlin, we heard Levitt address this meeting at the White House.
So she addressed it, and basically what they were asking her, what that person was asking her in that in that press briefing was, why did Donald Trump, he took aside Nancy Mace and he took aside Lauren Boebert because they both voted to release the Epstein files. And so he took them aside. He took them to the war room, I believe, or I believe that's correct. And he literally was just like, he was trying to get them to not vote yes on releasing this. And so he was literally like he was trying to pressure them. He was trying to pressure them into not voting to release them. That's what he was doing. That's what Donald Trump was doing. Are those the actions of an innocent person? Are those the actions of someone who didn't do anything? I mean, just the way he's acting is just so guilty. It's incredibly guilty. And for them to say that that's transparency, that pulling two of the people who voted against what you wanted, pulling them aside and essentially pressuring them, trying to pressure them into a different vote. Like, you're calling that transparency? That's not transparency. That's not transparency at all. What are you saying? What are you, like, they're trying to spin it like, oh, he has done nothing wrong, and these emails prove that he's done nothing wrong, even though he's all over them. His name is all over these emails. Epstein constantly talks about him in these emails, and so he can't keep using this excuse that he didn't know him or he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago or all this other kind of crap, because that's exactly what it is crap. It's crap. And they're trying to spin this, and it is not working. Okay, I don't think the spin is working. There are many different spins in the works, and I don't think any of them are working. But yeah. She is truly a bad liar. No, literally, like, you can see, like, I forgot, there was a video of it that I saw of her, and you could kind of tell just how stressed that she was sitting up there, because she's just constantly lying. And you could tell that all these Epstein questions really stressed her out, because she just, like, there were moments where she just took, like, a deep breath and was like, you know, you could tell that, like, she knows, she understands how this is gonna look, and she understands, like, this is going to be, like, a historical moment, and people are gonna look back at these videos, and they're gonna look back at her saying the shit that she said, and she looks a little scared, honestly. She looks a little nervous. She's only 27. That's insane that she's only 27. That I forget that all the time. Well, see, I've been hearing it was a hemp ban, but I did watch Kyle Kalinske, and he said it was a THC ban, but I've been hearing it was a hemp ban. And now there are people who do, like, hemp drinks and stuff that are worried. There's, like, a lot of local businesses that are really worried. I know there's one here in Missouri, well, in St. Louis. They're called Mighty Kind, and they posted something about how they don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to try to stay in business. I don't know. The Situation Room. Yes, I'm sorry. He brought Lauren Boebert into that room. Yeah, he brought them into the Situation Room, which is a really, like, it really escalates the situation. Like, that's not normal to bring a Congress member into the Situation Room to try to get them to change their vote on something. Like, that's just not normal. And that's also not transparency, because I guess what they were trying to say is that they brought her in on all the information, and so she knows Trump's innocent, so she shouldn't vote to release them. But that doesn't make any sense, because if Trump is innocent and they're trying to be transparent, then why don't they just release them? Then why don't they just let them release all of the files? That doesn't make any sense at all. But, you know, they think that they're doing good on this spin. You can tell. I know. Yeah, it's that Mar-a-Lago face. They all have the same face. It's the Mar-a-Lago face. I think he just needs to delay and give his base time to ignore what they don't want to realize. Yeah, it feels like a mob boss tactic. No, I think it was. And I do think that there was probably some sort of like, not blackmail, but I'm sure that there was some sort of like, I won't endorse you, I won't back you type of threat towards them, which is what he's doing now to Marjorie Taylor Greene, which we're going to get into. But, I just don't think that, I think people like Marjorie Taylor Greene see where this is going, and they can see that, Trump is not going to be, whether he likes it or not, Trump is not going to be the president forever. And so at some point, they're going to have to have their own politics, try to have their own career outside of Trump. And I just don't think, I think after the election, a lot of people realize maybe they don't need his endorsement. Maybe they don't need him behind them. Maybe that's actually a liability. And so I think he doesn't have the pull anymore that he thinks he does. But next, we're going to look at one of the emails that, but it's the Democrats' fault that I did all those things. Yeah, they're blaming it on the Democrats. They're like, well, they decided to release them. And it's like, okay, what, like, what is that? How does that change anything? What does that change? She's still all over it. His name is all over it. So what is that? How does that change anything? What are you saying? Like, what are you saying? Okay, so now we're going to look at, so this is one of the emails that the Democrats shared. And basically, so they're saying, they're saying, breaking, newly released emails show Jeffrey Epstein thought Trump was one of the worst people he knew, not one decent cell in his body. He went on to describe Trump with one word: dangerous. So this is what the email says. It says, recall I've told you I have met some very bad people, not as bad as Trump. Sorry, it is really small. God, I'm old. I'm like, man, this typing is really, really small. Okay, recall I've told you. I feel so old. Okay, recall I've told you I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. And, okay, not one decent cell in his body. So, yes, dangerous. So they were talking about this. And in other emails, I know there was a journalist who Epstein was talking to, who he was saying you can use all this information you have on him as like leverage. And if he denies about knowing you, then you have that against him. And now you have something on him. And if he lies and like says, there's something wrong with you, now you can fight back. You have all this stuff on him. But if he doesn't do that, then you can blackmail him, essentially is what they were talking about, that Jeffrey Epstein has all of this information on Trump. And so Jeffrey Epstein has the upper hand, really, is what they were talking about. And I just want to remind everyone that Jeffrey Epstein went to prison and died in jail when Donald Trump was president. Okay. And like, I understand that it's still a conspiracy theory, and I understand that conspiracy theory has been going on for a while, but I do think that it's something, I do think it's important to talk about, because it's interesting. It is very interesting that they literally were talking about how, like, Jeffrey Epstein was talking about how much information he has on Trump. And then when Trump is president, he ends up dying in prison. Mysteriously. Even though, Kash Patel will tell you that it wasn't mysterious, but I don't know, man. I don't know. So, this is taken on a life of its own. It's kind of insane just how much information is coming out. And I will say, I was one of those people, like, when ICE was going out in the streets and kidnapping people, and everyone's like, this is just a distraction from the Epstein files. I was like, okay, come on. Like, this is real shit. Like, people are getting kidnapped in the middle of the street. It's not a distraction, But I will say that I do think he will do whatever it takes for these not to get released. I do think that, I didn't think this before, but now I do. I do think this has the potential to actually like ruin his presidency and ruin him to his base. I think there are a lot of people who are still standing up for him, but I also think that there's a lot of divisions happening. And I think that that's a good thing. And I haven't really had a whole lot of hope about like people in MAGA like dividing. I've always been like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's not going to matter. They'll cover for Trump no matter what. But like, I do think that this is something that could severely fracture his base. And I think that that's a really good thing. And I also think him, you know, he just had an interview with Laura Ingraham and he was like, oh, you know, the economy's fine. Like, no one in America is talented. We need H-1B visas. Like, he was talking crazy, right? So I think that this paired up with the economy, I think is actually going to disillusion a lot of people on the right. And I'm hoping that happens. And I have like hope for the first time in a very, very long time. And I'm hoping this does create some fractions in that base. And so, yeah, I hope so. Every action distract you from the other. Bannon calls it the flood the zone. Yeah, you're right. I do think that they just do a lot at once. You can't really focus on anything. You feel overwhelmed and defeated because there's so much happening at once. He's definitely doing that. But I do think that a lot of these people were right. Like, I think the Epstein files has staying power, and I don't think people are going to forget. I think people are very serious and they want to know this. And I think that I do think this could be his downfall. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't think it before. I didn't think it would be before, but now my mind has actually kind of changed. I'm like, maybe it could be his downfall. Maybe it could be. So I don't know. We'll see. Next, we're going to look at Megyn Kelly's response. Now, I did a short about this when I first saw this clip, but I wanted to talk about it again because it really is so insane. This clip is so ridiculous, and it's been making the rounds, of course. But Megyn Kelly... I mean, like, okay, so there's been a lot of jokes like leading up to this that, you know, how are people on the right, how are, you know, these people who are MAGA, how are they going to defend Trump? How are they going to act when this whole conspiracy theory that they have ran on, that they have gone into the rabbit hole that QAnon exists because of, how are they going to deal with the fact that Trump is in the middle of this conspiracy theory that they have been so obsessed with for so long? Like, how are they going to deal with that? How are people going to deal with that? And I know that there are people like Waj and Hassan and a lot of different people who said, okay, well, they're going to defend it, and they're going to say, oh, well, ephebophilia. And I was like, come on. Like, these guys, and I was like, I guess they will, because a lot of people, you know, they don't care. They'll defend Trump no matter what. But it's wild to actually see it happen in real time. Like, it's actually wild to see it happen in real time of so many people being like, well, you know, it's ephebophilia. It doesn't really matter. I can believe it, but then on the other hand, I can't believe it. I'm like, this is really how low people are willing to sink to stand up for Trump, to make whatever excuse they can for Trump. It's honestly, it's disgusting, one, and it's amazing how much people are willing to just, like, you know, he said he could shoot someone on the middle of Fifth Avenue or whatever and get away with it. I think he could. There's a certain amount of the population that would either just deny it completely, even if there was video evidence, or would make up some excuse to make an excuse for him. It's crazy. Technically, she defended Epstein himself, not Trump. Yeah, but I think she did it to defend Trump. Like, I think the purpose of this was to ultimately defend Trump, to be like, well, you know, they weren't like 8, so it's not a big deal that Trump was like friends with him and knew about it, you know? Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna watch this because it is crazy. It is quite insane. So this is Megyn Kelly on her show, and you know who goes on her show a lot, or who's been on a couple times? Anna Kasparian. I wonder if Anna Kasparian's gonna go back. I wonder if she's ever gonna go back on Megyn Kelly after this. We should monitor that. We should monitor and see if Anna Kasparian ever goes back on Megyn Kelly after she said this. Okay, because I really want to know. I want to know how low Anna is willing to stoop for this. How low she's willing to stoop for this grift. She was on Tucker's show again. Of course she was. I saw the Vanguard. I didn't watch the video yet, but apparently she was calling out some past TYT hosts. I don't know, man. I can't keep up with her anymore. There's so many like mainstream libs who are looking at her like she's like amazing, and I can't stand it. I'm like, I hate her so much. The amount I hate Anna Kasparian is probably not healthy, but I hate her like a lot. So yeah. Anyway. Oh, it was Mondale. Of course she was going after him. She's gone after him before. God, I hate her so much. I really do. But I'm gonna monitor. I'm gonna see if she goes back on Megyn Kelly. We'll see if she goes back on Megyn Kelly, and she, because she probably doesn't care. She will stoop that low. I know I saw Anna Kasparian retweeting Tucker's show. Yeah, of course. And wait, and that was the whole thing on the right this whole past week, is that Nick Fuentes was on Tucker Carlson, and they were all freaking out like, why would you have a Nazi on your show, Tucker Carlson? And it's like, okay. I think it's funny. The reason I haven't covered it is because I don't know. I mean, it's just so stupid. But I think it's funny that Republicans are like, surprised Pikachu face when there's like a Nazi in their group. Like, why are you surprised? This is literally your politics. Like this is the end goal of your politics, is it not? This is the end goal of your politics, and he's just not shy about it. And so you to be like, oh my God, I can't believe there's a Nazi in our midst is wild to me. Like, it's so silly to me. I'm like, of course there is. There's many, actually. There's a lot of them. And you never seem to care before until now. It's so insane. She's defending Nick Fuentes, saying he has some good points. Oh, she's insane. She has lost her mind. Oh my God. I keep saying that. The F is wrong with TYT. I don't know. God damn. Oh my God. Okay. I might have to look more into this and do a video about it, because I can't believe she was defending Nick Fuentes. What? Oh my God. Okay, so then I'm going to call it right here, right now. She probably will go back on Megyn Kelly's show, because she can't stoop any lower than defending Nick Fuentes. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. She has lost her mind. And then they put her on like CNN as some like moderate. Give me a break. She's lost her mind. Oh, she was defending him from Benjamin. Of course she is. Well, because, listen. I do love that she stands up for Palestine, but she is getting anti-Semitic. I will say she is getting a little, Anna Kasparian's getting a little iffy with it lately. Yeah, Anna basically defending Nick Fuentes the other day. Insane. Ben is dead. Yeah, I think Ben is a classic case of being a part of the leper eat your face party and be like, oh my God, the leper ate my face. It's like, dude, I have been like, Ben Shapiro is so funny, because like, for years, people are like, dude, one of these days, you are going to be the outcast in your party. You are going to be the outcast, and people are not going to they're not going to include you, because you are not a Christian nationalist, because you are Jewish, and there are people on the right who are very anti-Semitic. And a lot of the whole, like, a lot of the end times prophecy is extremely anti-Semitic. And so the fact that Ben Shapiro thought that he was somehow going to be included, and that he was somehow going to be able to be a part of this party forever and be a defining voice in this party, I think is very naive of him, because of course this was going to happen. This was always going to happen. And I don't understand. I don't get how he didn't realize that. Anna has been untethered since Michael Brooks passed. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's lost her mind, and I don't know. I guess she really believes this shit. I don't know. But he made his fortune. He did make his fortune. He did. He really did. And I don't know how a lot of these people sleep at night making their fortune off of hate like this, but I guess they just don't care. All right, so this is Megyn Kelly. This is her talking about how doing the libertarian defense, technically it's a phebophilia defense for Trump and Epstein here.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
15 is not barely legal. 15 is illegal. 15 is illegal. That's not barely legal. That's illegal. That is years from being legal. I don't understand. This shit is insane. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I like, they don't care. They don't care. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. Okay.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts.
I love how she's like, I'm just giving you facts. I'm not trying to make an excuse. No, this is exactly what you're doing. No. You are though. Like, this is an excuse. You are trying to excuse this shit, and it's disgusting. It's so disgusting. What is wrong with you saying a 15-year-old is not that big of a deal because they're not 8? You're disgusting. You're disgusting. You're a disgusting human being. What are you saying?
That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal.
See, and this is how she's trying to excuse it. She's trying to say, well, they looked legal. They looked legal. So how was he supposed to know? How was Jeffrey Epstein or Trump supposed to know they looked legal? Disgusting.
To a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview.
I don't think that matters. That doesn't matter. And this is disgusting because I also think that it's really frustrating that she's like, oh, well, they were like teenage types. No, they were children. 15-year-old is a child, okay? And she's conveniently not talking about how he was trafficking them. It wasn't just like a relationship. It wasn't just like grooming. He was trafficking them. So they're conveniently leaving that part out, and she's trying to excuse it like, oh, well, he might have, messed around with, no, he raped them, but she's saying, oh, well, he might have just like been, with these teenage types, again, children, but she's conveniently not talking about how he was trafficking them. That he was trafficking them. They're conveniently leaving that part out and not talking about that. And so I think there's like a million different ways in which this is disgusting, and the framing of this is just horrific. And I don't understand how, and this is why Megyn Kelly makes me mad. And this is like a lot of conservative women will do this, is when their rights, or when they get talked down to, or when they feel like conservative men are treating them wrong, they'll try to stand up and be like, oh, well, you don't, I forgot what she did, but Megyn Kelly one time said oh, all these conservative men just hate women, or don't like women with opinions or something. It was something like that. And I remember being like, are you dumb? Of course, that's how this has always been, and you just never thought it was going to come to you. You thought you were never going to have to deal with it. And then when you have to deal with it, when your rights are on the line, when your autonomy is on the line, when you being able to be an independent person is on the line, now you want to stand up. Now you want to say something. And this happens with conservative women all the time, and they don't care about anyone else until it happens to them. And then they want to act like they're a feminist, right? Or they actually care about women's rights because it's now starting to affect them. And so I think that conservative ideology, this ideology like Matt Walsh has the way that they are talking is actually not new. The way that she is framing this is not new. And so that's why I think it's even more disgusting, because she's using this framing that people like Matt Walsh have had for so long, where they're like, well, really, when you're 15 or 16, that's when you're most fertile, and we got away from that, but maybe we should go back. Matt Walsh literally said that in a video. And so she is, in a sense, using that kind of reasoning in this video to literally excuse a sex trafficker, and all while trying to somehow have this well, women should still have rights, and women should still have a say in the conservative party. And I don't understand how you can mesh the two. It doesn't make any sense. It's really ridiculous, because the whole point in that kind of framing around women is to dominate them. And these are children. But that's their point, is they want to dominate them. They want to control them. They don't want them to be able to have a job, have independence, have their own bank account. They want you under their thumb. They want to control you. That is the point. And that's what a lot of that's where a lot of conservatives men, that is the ideology of a lot of conservative men. A lot of conservative men have this ideology, which is why they have these conservative politics, because they want to feel like they are in control over their partner, or sometimes just the people around them. And so that's where this all stems from. And so for her to sit here and excuse that and use that same reasoning is very disgusting and just so disturbing. But this whole ephebophilia argument is not new, and it's not, unfortunately, it's not unique in the conservative party. Like I said, Matt Walsh has talked about how he thinks that women should start having kids when they're younger, when they're teenagers, because that's when they're most fertile, or whatever the hell. Really weird shit. And there's a lot of people that have that ideology. In Missouri, I think we just outlawed teenage marriage, or I don't even think it went through, but I know it went viral because we had that one congressperson who was standing there trying to defend it, teenage marriage or whatever. Oh God, it was insane. Anyway, all that to say, it's not surprising that they're using this argument, but it's just very disgusting that this is where we're at in politics, and this is where we're at in our discourse, that we're trying to parse on if this like this sexual trafficker, one of the biggest sex traffickers of our ever, I don't even know. And then the president of the United States, who has been charged with sexual abuse, you're trying to parse it and be like, oh, well, it's okay because they were teenagers and they kind of looked like they were older. No, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't even know what else to say, really. It's disgusting. Yeah. She is a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, exactly. Barely legal. What the Vosh? Oh yeah, I think Vosh is. There was a YouTube video I made a while ago where I made a joke that I said Vosh is like a libertarian, and everyone in the comments was so mad at me, and they're like, "You don't know what that means." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Okay, it's a joke," because we were talking about the what was it, the lolly cartoon he had on his desktop or whatever when he showed that. And I was like, and I made a joke that he was a libertarian because of age of consent laws. It was supposed to be a joke, but nobody got it. And I know he's not technically a libertarian, but that's why I made that joke. I thought it was funny, but nobody got it. But yes, I think Vosh I don't know if he's made that argument before, but I know he had that lolly drawing on his thing. Anyway. Anyway. I know Megyn Kelly has a 14-year-old daughter, which makes this even more insane, because it's like, okay, so how would you feel if they got trafficked? That's the other thing. That's the thing that's driving me insane is he trafficked them. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, they just knew them or whatever. No, he trafficked them. This was a child sex trafficking ring. That's what this was. And they're conveniently not saying that part. It doesn't make sense. Someone passed for even younger and look legal to pass by. Yeah, exactly. I remember that one time she had a spine because women were being harassed at Fox or something. I know, but and I've seen it in real life. I've seen it in other parts of my life where conservative women, white women, conservative white women, they don't they'll say crazy shit about other people, other minorities. They'll let their husbands or the men around them say insane shit about everybody else. But the minute that person or that conservative guy starts talking that way to them, then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes oh, I don't understand why you're treating me like this. I don't understand why you think I should just be cleaning up and cooking, for you, where I should just, be a maid for you. And I'm like, I don't understand how you, but that's the whole ideology. You're conservative too. Isn't that what you think women should do? Isn't that your whole ideology? I don't understand. So it's funny because they'll preach all this shit, but then when they get treated the way they preach, then they have problems with it. But not saying that, I'm not saying that because women at Fox News were getting harassed, and that's not okay at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of times conservative women get into relationships with conservative men, and they let them talk however they want about everybody else. But then when it comes to them, they somehow are they don't understand why they're being treated that way. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, she did get harassed, which also makes this even worse because I think she got sexually assaulted. So that makes this even worse. That makes this whole conversation even worse because she's excusing this. She's excusing Jeffrey Epstein, which is insane. The other woman mentions in the trafficking and says that it's a lie because once he trafficked them, they were adults at that point. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's still sex trafficking, though. Like, even if they were adults at that point, that's still a crime. How does that, what? That's insane. I saw the trailer about the Megyn Kelly movie and Libs propped her up. Charlize Theron was on point for that movie. I haven't seen that, but I've always wanted to. This country has gotten so stupid. I know. He is a social libertarian. Oh, okay. So I was right. Everyone in the comments was like, you're so stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, no, it was a joke. It was a joke, but I'm not going to explain the joke because obviously people didn't get it and it wasn't good, I guess. Anarcho-syndicalist, according to him. Oh, okay, whatever. That's just whatever. Okay. I don't know. Okay, whatever. All right, and then Fox News. Okay, so Fox News is actually really funny because they really haven't even been covering this. Like, they just like have decided to just like not even cover it. It has been their decision. That's how they're handling this, is to barely even cover the Epstein files or the Epstein emails that have come out. They don't want to cover it at all. It's quite funny, actually. They covered like AOC saying that she talked with a Trump supporter. There was a whole section of the 5 where they were like, she's lying. She didn't talk to a Trump supporter. And it's like, bro, is this news? Is this news? This is the news we're talking about? They don't want to talk about it at all, and it's quite funny, actually. But we're gonna watch Jesse Waters respond. I haven't watched this yet, but we're gonna watch it together. So this is Jesse Waters responding to this.
Portability. They sure waste a lot of time on old emails. For a party that claims to care about affordability, they sure waste a lot of time on old emails.
That's so funny. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, first of all, more people on the Democratic side are running on affordability and are trying to like care or fight for like affordable things than any Republican. Donald Trump literally has been saying, stop talking about the economic crisis. There is no economic crisis. Like, he literally said that. He's like, I don't want to hear about this anymore. Like, he does not care. He does not care. He does not care. He wants to do 50-year mortgages. That is insane. He wants to do like 30-year car notes. This is crazy. Like, he does not care about affordability. And so it's so funny that they're trying to use that against the Democrats. Dude, y'all are in power. You have every branch of the government. You for so long, Republicans have had this propaganda that they're the fiscally conservative ones, that they're the ones who can handle a budget, that they're the ones that can, that are fiscally going to get everything together. And they're not. And they never have been. And now people are starting to see through it because I don't understand how they got away with this for so long. I don't understand how people kept believing them for so long that they were the fiscally conservative party. But they're not. Like, Donald Trump, every single time last time he was president, he made the budget deficit grow more than any other president. Like, And it's not because of social safety nets. It was because of tax cuts for billionaires. And that's all they care about. And subsidies for billionaires and million-dollar corporations. That's all they care about. That's all they ever do. And they end up making the deficit grow even larger every time they come into power. And I don't understand how they can keep getting away with this propaganda, but they do. And now people are starting to see through it. People are starting to see through it. They're starting to see that they actually have no idea what they're doing. They haven't made anything better. They haven't made anything more affordable, and they don't care. They don't care. They're actually making it worse for everyone and doing it quite publicly and quite shamelessly. And so I think that now they're trying to be like, oh, you guys care about affordability, why are you talking about the Epstein files? Dude, y'all are like it's so obvious that they're scrambling, and that's why I finally have hope for once in my life that people are starting to see through this shit, because it's just so obvious. Now, not everyone, of course, there's always going to be like that percentage that are going to stand for Trump no matter what happens. I know some of them, but I do think that like I do think this is good because they're scrambling, man. They're scrambling because they're losing on a lot of different fronts, and these Epstein emails are really not helpful for them at all in this moment. Water sucks so much. I still can't believe he's the new Tucker. I know he's not as good at all. Like I hate Tucker Carlson mainly because when you watch him, you feel like you're crazy. Like you feel like you're the one going crazy, you know, because he's so convincing and his propaganda and his gaslighting is so convincing that when you're sitting there watching it, like you feel just like, I just remember watching him and feeling like I was insane, and I was going insane because I'm like, dude, this is not real. None of this is real, you know? Anyway, he didn't deserve this job for sure, but he makes me just as nauseous as Tucker. So good casting. He is dumb. They not like us. Oh, we're gonna get to that. Like the affordability was fixed. I know they really think that like they're like, he keeps saying this. He keeps saying it. No, everything's fine. Everything's going down. No, it's not. I spent so much money on groceries. It's insane. And that was actually one of the things when I was canvassing for DSA. There was this guy who was talking about how his rent went from $1,200 a month to $2,100 a month in the matter of a few years. That's insane. That's insane. The same exact place in the matter of a few years went up that much. That is insane. That is insane. And now, instead of trying to fix that, they're like, oh, let's do a 50-year mortgage. What? So people are just going to be in debt for the rest of their lives until they die? Like, that's essentially what they're trying to do. I mean, that's going to be my school loans probably, but whatever at this point. But, like, that, like, this is a problem, and they're not fixing it, and it's obvious, and people can see right through these lies because they're obviously not helping anything. Okay, so next, I thought these were funny because, like I said, Fox News is not talking about the Epstein files. They don't want to talk about the Epstein files, the Epstein emails that just came out. So now, instead of talking about that, they're talking about how Hassan's in China. They're talking about how Hassan is in China. That's what they're talking about on Fox News. While everyone else is talking about Epstein emails, Fox News is talking about a Twitch streamer going to China. Listen. They're not serious. They're not serious. This is crazy. So apparently the anti-American left, Hassan Piker trashes the U.S. while visiting China. And he says the president is all over the Epstein logs. And this is what Fox News is covering right now. It's so stupid. It's because they went to, I think it was Tiananmen Square. I'm not sure if I said that right. But they went to the flag raising ceremony. I watched some of it. And he said he's not like a very patriotic person. So he didn't really understand like the excitement. But he enjoyed it. And so everyone took that and was like, oh, he's not patriotic. The unpatriotic left. The anti-American left. The left hates America. And I'm just like, bro, this is what you're talking about? This is your big news story of the day? This is pathetic. This is pathetic. What does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with affordability? Nothing. Like, they are so desperate. They are so desperate to talk about anything other than the affordability crisis. They are so desperate to talk about anything other than the Epstein emails. Like, it's just insane. And then one more. Spot the difference. You can't. We're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, and then you have Hassan in China. He says, I have aura, Tucker doesn't. Everyone, even Ethan Klein was like, oh, I think it's time we should seriously ask if Hassan's getting paid to do China propaganda. And it's like, he's not he just went there. He's not talking to he's not talking to the people in power. He just went there and showing people that it's not, that they actually live. decent lives, a lot of times better than we do. Not saying that they're perfect, because they're definitely anti-gay. They just took down gay dating apps in the App Store, which I don't think is okay. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but I am saying, like, here in America, we are so xenophobic that we just think that they live horrible lives. And not even just China. Like, I'll talk to people in my family and they'll be like, well, America's the best country. Try living anywhere else. And I'm like, bro, there are many other places people live that they have much healthier lives than in America, where they live much more balanced lives because they actually can have one job and they don't live paycheck to paycheck, and they have an affordable living situation. They are able to actually hang out with friends and do things without breaking their budget. They're America is not the best place to live. America is not number one, and we have this false sense of I don't know, we just have this false sense of superiority, and we're not. Like, America's not. And so I do think it's good that he's showing people that people in other countries are living better lives, and we can have that for ourselves, and it's not bad to want that in the richest country in the world. Anyway, just a little bit of a side quest tangent. Hassan is not wrong. The U.S. is so cooked right now. Honestly, Ethan's boat is sinking hard. Ethan looking depressed on the timeline. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about him again, but maybe I should, because it's so funny. I see all his stories about how he's so mad that no one wants to work with him, and that all these models that have like modeled for Teddy Fresh are now like denouncing him and Hila. And he's like, oh, this is so anti-Semitic. I'm like, no, it's not, man. People just don't like you. They don't like you because you're not a good person. Because you're like a really horrible person. And he's still crashing out on Taylor Lorenz. Like, he hasn't really been talking about Hassan much because it doesn't work. But he's like been crashing out about Taylor Lorenz too. He's so insane. And he wonders why nobody likes him. It's just so... It's so delusional, honestly. He burned bridges for the fun of it. He did. And then when he suffers the consequences, he's like, oh, I don't understand why everyone hates me. Because you're not a good person. Because you go after everyone on a daily basis. Like, what did you think was going to happen? I'm not really quite sure what you thought was going to happen here. Many would deem this interesting. American exceptionalism has rotted so many brains. Honestly, it really has. It really has, because it's like, just saying that you want better for America, just saying that, like, I want my tax dollars to go to us and not wars, is somehow considered anti-American. By just saying that there are other countries that live better lives and that do things in a better and different way, that's anti-American. And I'm like, well, I mean, listen, there is a part of me that really is disgusted by America and our history, because, you know, a lot of the things we were founded on, a lot of the ideals that we were founded on have never been put into practice at all throughout the history of America. So yeah, there's a part of me that is very disgusted by America and our history and by our so-called values, because we've never lived them out. But to look to other countries and say, we could have that here, we could do better here, we could actually live in a different way, seeing that as anti-American is so crazy to me, because it's like, no, I want Americans to have better things. I want us to do better. I want us to have better things. I want us to all be living better lives. I don't understand how that's anti-American, to point out that there are other countries that have figured things out, that are doing things in a better way. It means we can replicate it. That doesn't mean I hate what we're doing. It doesn't mean that I hate Americans. It means that I want Americans to live better lives. Like, I don't know, it's so crazy that people take you looking at other countries and thinking that they're doing things better than us as hating America. It's really insane when you think about it, because if you were starting a business, or if you are I don't know, just looking to start a new hobby or start a new career or whatever, you're going to look to people in those fields and you're going to see how people have succeeded, or how people have done that hobby before, or how people have changed careers or whatever have you. And you're going to look to other people and how they did it, and not try to like replicate it, but, you know, take advice or take things from them, and look towards them for advice or how to do certain things. And so looking to other countries for a way to maybe do things better is not a bad thing. We do it all the time. We look to other people. We look to people for advice or how to do things all the time. Like, it's so silly. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. Oh God. Oh yeah, you guys are talking about his Ethan Klein's lawsuits. Yeah, he's still suing people. I think that's horrible behavior. Yeah, so we were talking about this earlier, but this is Gavin Newsom's response. He said, DT, I hear you like I'm young. I don't know. Is it bad that this kind of ruined this for me? Is it bad? Is that bad that this kind of ruined this for me? Gavin Newsom using this kind of ruined it for me. Like, I feel like that was such an amazing moment, like, culturally. And I feel like that moment cannot be replicated, like with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I feel like that was such like a historic, like, I feel like that moment, like, culturally is just like, I don't know, you just had to be there, you know? It's just like, if you were on the internet in that time, if you were paying attention in that time, it was like, it was such an amazing time, right? And I just loved it. And I Gavin Newsom using it just really ruins it for me. It just makes it so cringy now, and I'm like really mad. Like, don't get me wrong, like, great, I'm glad he's doing these little tweets or whatever, but like, still, come on, man, like, this is cringy. Why did you have to ruin this? Why did you have to ruin this? I don't know. I don't like Gavin Newsom. I saw this new post today. I forgot. I think it was Politico that said, let's be honest, Gavin Newsom is the front runner of 2028, and I wanted to puke. I hate Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom should not be the front runner of 2028. He's horrible. And this is cringy, and it ruins it. Okay. And everyone's like, oh my God, love him. Oh, he's I hate this shit. I'm sorry. I am a hater. I'm a hater of Gavin Newsom. I'm sorry. I am. And I feel like he ruined this. He just made it cringy now. He ruined it. But I guess it's funny. I don't know. I'm just being a hater, so I apologize. But yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna get to Marjorie Taylor Greene. If Kendrick was truly behind it, it would be not as performative. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, if Kendrick said it, that would be actually really funny. But I don't know. I don't like Gavin Newsom, and I feel like it is very performative, and I feel like, you know, he's doing this because he wants to become president, not because he actually cares about fighting back. Like, he's just doing whatever he deems popular to become president, and if he were to become president, I don't think that he would be a good president. I mean, he would be better than Donald Trump, but he wouldn't... Like, I don't think he would really fix anything. Like, he'd be beholden to corporations. He would also be beholden to corporations. He would also be beholden to all the tech companies. He would also be beholden to all these special interests, because that's who Gavin Newsom is. So I just, like, of course he would be better than Trump. Anyone's better than Trump. But I still don't think we should I don't think it should be Gavin Newsom. Yeah, I don't. Anna would lose her shit if Gavin wins the primary. Honestly, I think that's the only thing I think that's the only, like, happiness I would get out of that, is if just to see Anna crash out. Oh my God. I think Anna would just move to Florida. Honestly, she should just do that already. She should just do it anyway. should just do it now. Like not before Biden stepping down. Yeah. My money is still on Pete for the Dem nomination if AOC takes out Schumer. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I know. God, a lot of people are like, AOC's too radical. She'll never win. She's a woman. She could never win. I think AOC can win. I think it's the perfect climate for her to win a presidency. I really do. I 1000% think she could win. And maybe I'm being naive and maybe that's just wishful thinking. But I do think AOC could win. But I do think that she's probably going to run for senator instead. And I hope she takes out Chuck Schumer. But yeah, I wish she would run for president, but I don't know if she will. I do think she could win though. And I know a lot of people are kind of poo-pooing it, but I don't know. I think the conditions are perfect for someone like her right now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We still have a long ways to go. I also think like Andy Beshear or J.B. Pritzker, I feel like those two would be better than Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg. Sorry. I think that they would be much better than both of them, but I don't like Gavin Newsom and I don't want Gavin Newsom to be there at all. And I hope that does not happen because he is not. Yeah, he's not. I just don't think I don't think he's going to make the change that's going to be needed after all of this. He won't do it. He's not going to do it. And we're going to need sweeping change. And we're going to need someone who's not afraid to do huge changes within the system. And Gavin is just not that person whatsoever. I agree. It should be her. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. They are the front runners, even though I dislike them. But they are. I know. J.B. Pritzker is kind of in there, but I guess he hasn't been as vocal recently. But anyway, so all right. So next thing we're going to talk about is Marjorie Taylor. Actually, let me do a segue I just thought of. Speaking of someone who might be running for president, I'm not even joking. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Some people are saying that that Marjorie Taylor Greene is now switching it up a bit. She's trying to grift a bit because she wants to run for president. Dear God, I hope that is not true. I hope that is not true. I hope she just runs for Senate or something. But a lot of people are saying that she might run for president. And God fucking help us. I swear to God. I can't. I don't know what I would do. I would have to leave. Honestly, no, don't speak it into existence. There are other people saying it. It's not me. I'm just repeating what other people have said that they think is going to happen. I don't want this to happen. I think it would be the worst thing in the world. Honestly, I don't want this to happen. But a lot of people are saying it. It is a little bit of a rumor going around. It is going around. It's a scary prospect, honestly. But this is so Marjorie Taylor Greene, as you know, as we've been talking about, has been going against a lot of what Trump is doing recently, and has been very vocal about the Epstein files, and we've talked about her a lot, and every time we talk about her, I always have to preface it with, she is not our friend. She can be changing her mind on things. She can be agreeing with us on some things right now. But please, when I tell you she is not our friend, and I think liberals need to understand that. I don't want her in this coalition. I don't care. With Big Tent, whatever, blah, 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 she's not a part of it. I do not think she should be a part of it. If she wants to help with the Epstein files, great. Other than that, I am not going to sit here. If she wants to help with the Epstein files, great. If she wants to stop foreign wars, great. Fine. We can bring her in on those things. But I do not trust her. I do not like her. She is still racist. Okay, she's still homophobic. She is still transphobic. I don't want her anywhere near this coalition. I do not care. Okay? I do not care. All right? Just prefacing it with that. All right. So I said, anyway, just had to put that out there before we get into this. She's going on a lot of liberal outlets, and I feel like they're not pushing her as they should be because they're like, oh, well, look, we agree. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, so this is Marjorie Taylor Greene is going against Trump on the Epstein stuff, and she's been going against him on affordability, and AOC actually made a whole video about why she's making this change, and it's because one, I think she can see what's coming, and I think she can see that Donald Trump is losing his popularity. And then I also think that she was upset because she wanted to run for Senate, but he didn't want her to because I think they wanted her to stay in Congress so that way they could still have a majority in Congress. Because remember, when Trump started his presidency, he was like appointing a lot of people in Congress to his cabinet, and Mike Johnson had to be like, hey, you should probably stop doing that so we could still have a majority over here. And so I think he kind of wanted her to stay in Congress, and so she couldn't run for Senate. I think she also was trying to get VP. There was a little while there when she was trying to get VP, if you remember, and she wanted to be the vice president, and she didn't get that either. And so I think she has higher ambitions, and I think that the Trump administration and everyone around her is like, F you, you're the goofy, crazy space lasers lady. Like, we don't know, you're going to stay where you are. And she's saying, okay, well, F you, I'm going to do what I want. So this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing now. So she said, I stood with the President Trump when almost no one else would. I campaigned for him all over this country and spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. That's why being called a traitor isn't just hurtful. It puts a target on my back and puts my life in danger, and it only divides our country even more. But even through this, I still support the Trump administration and I want to see it succeed for the American people. I believe in transparency, and that's why I've pushed to release the Epstein files. Survivors deserve the truth, and I won't apologize for standing with them. So she was in one of the press conferences, I believe, with the survivors when they were talking about what happened to them. She was there. And so she has been standing up against Trump about the Epstein files for a minute now. And Donald Trump went on a Truth Social crash out that we're going to go through. He went on a crash out of what happened, calling Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor and all this other kind of stuff. And so this is her response to Trump calling her all these names and like denouncing her. So this is what she said with Dana Fash. I like Hassan's name for her, Dana Fash. I do not like Dana Bash. Okay.
I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration. And I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
Oh man, wow. Did she have the same feelings when she was calling Nancy Pelosi a traitor? When she was saying that she committed treason? What? Wait, what? I bet Dana Bash isn't going to ask her about that. She's not going to ask her about, okay, well, I recall you calling people treasonous, you calling people traitors, and you didn't care? You didn't think that was violent talk back then? I'm just saying, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting that she cares now that she's being called a traitor, and now that same language that she used against everybody else is now being used against her, and now she suddenly cares. Okay. Okay, again, conservative white women only care when the rhetoric gets then pushed back on them, when they have to deal with the same rhetoric that they've been excusing or they've been spouting. Then they care.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
Yeah, so now the right wing is like crashing out on her. They are going after her. Like, they are crashing out, okay? They are pissed at Marjorie Taylor Greene, Laura Loomer specifically. So this is on Threads. So Cat Turd says, we all have to get behind a primary opponent from Marjorie Taylor Greene. And so Cat Turd, we're gonna talk about that Bubba thing in a second. But yeah, and so Cat Turd is not with Marjorie Taylor Greene anymore. This is another post. So now they're saying that she's like a blue-haired liberal. Now they're putting her like a blue-haired liberal. This is so funny. They said she would be a good liberal. Incredible things are happening over on True Social. Oh my God. Okay. And then this is Laura Loomer. Marjorie Taylor Greene just lied and said that bomb threats got sent to her construction company in Georgia. This should be easy to verify. Bomb Squad in Rome, Georgia have not reported any bomb threats today. So there's a likely chance that Marjorie Taylor Greene is lying about this too. Should she resign if it turns out to be fake? This is some Jussie Smollett level hoaxing. Listen, I watched the Jussie Smollett documentary, okay? And honestly, I don't know listen, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if that was a hoax. Okay, so this is one of Trump's responses to being asked about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric?
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Are you negotiating? Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric?
He says, frankly, I don't think anyone cares about her. See how fast they switch up on you? See how fast? And then this Cat Turd again. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now this is what everyone's calling her on the right. Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's her new nickname. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene runs straight to CNN today and apologizes to the far left loons, plays the victim, and sucks up to the Democratic Party. This is the biggest and fastest meltdown freefall I've ever seen in politics in my life. Total crash and burn. It's ugly. It's so funny to me that like they see this and they're like, oh my God, she's crazy. She's like apologizing to leftists now. But then they look at John Fetterman and they're like, he's a really like, I can't believe I agree with him. He's just like a really smart Democrat. Like, no, man, no. Oh God, this is so funny. Oh, they made her look like Liz Cheney. Oh my God, that's so funny. Look at that. What is the Bizarro Fetterman looks like? Is this what Bizarro Fetterman looks like? Honestly, there was a post that people have been doing, like a meme where they show like Marjorie Taylor Greene and John Fetterman like switching bodies like Freaky Friday. They like switched bodies. Okay, let's see what else. So this is what just like I guess this girl named Truth Junkie, Marjorie Trader Green. Trump kicked you to the curb after all that backstabbing rhinos. Georgia will primary you this year. Okay, or will primary your ass. Okay, traitor. They're really mad, and this guy said no, we won't. They're really mad though, man. They're really mad at her. And so this is okay. So now let's get into Trump's crash out about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So there was a moment there where Trump actually, like right after the Epstein emails got leaked, he had not been on Truth for like hours, and that's very not like Trump, right? He goes on Truth and he just posts all the time, okay? That's like his thing. And people start worrying about the president of the United States when he's not like manically tweeting or truthing or whatever the hell, which says a lot in its own, that like it's a news story when he takes 4 hours off of truthing on his social media site. It's kind of a sad state of affairs when that's newsworthy, but that's what's going on. So he started posting again, and he started having a crash out. So let's get into this. This first one, and it's not just about Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's just like about everything. It's also about Thomas Massie. So he said, did Thomas Massie, sometimes referred as Rand Paul Jr., because of the facts that he always votes against the Republican Party, get married already? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at less than 8% of chance of winning the election. Anyway, have a great life, Thomas, and his wife will soon find out that she's stuck with a loser. Okay, so this is when he started going after Marjorie Taylor Greene. He said, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman, in quotations, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown. Which honestly, I'm so mad that the Democrats let him have that. Because now he can say that, and it's really ridiculous. Closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports, or transgender for everyone. What? Ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation. You did not know that did not happen. Biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars. I really want him to name these 8 wars. Like every time that's what the press should ask him one day. Every single time he says, I stopped 8 wars, I stopped 9 wars. They should, can you name them? Can you name those wars? Can you name all 8? Please enlighten me. Which 8 did you end? Please tell me. Can you tell me? Can you name them? Rebuilding our military, that's not true. Being respected by every country in the world as opposed to being the laughingstock. Bro, you are delusional. We are the laughingstock. Everyone thinks we're insane because of you. Having trillions of dollars, record-setting invest in the USA, where, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more. He is truly delusional. None of that is real. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll slating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12%, and I didn't have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She had told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with the 219 congressmen/women, 53 U.S. senators, and 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they are too fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View. Thank you, Republican hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't deal. Wait, why is it not doing this? Okay, wait. Okay, sorry. God, True Social is so effing weird. Okay. He's posted. Okay, let's see. All right. Let me get back to where I am. Let me get back to where I was, because this is crazy. Okay. That was insane. So that was him talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm on Brave right now, and it doesn't even matter. I'm still seeing all these crazy ads. That was an epic. That was great. Epic Trump crash out. It was. Why is that in quotes? Does he not think she's a woman or a Congress or both? How can GOP he's such a whiny baby? He's such a whiny baby. Like, it's so crazy that they think that this is like strength. Like, no, man, he's just insane. He's rambling on social media. He's insane. And then this was his next one. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. I wanted to talk about this one because this one is just funny. He says, NBC's Seth Meyers is suffering from an incurable case of Trump derangement syndrome. He was viewed last night in uncontrollable rage, likely due to the fact that his show, in quotations, is a ratings disaster. Aside from everything else, Meyers has no talent and NBC should fire him immediately. I hope not. I actually like Seth Meyers a lot. All right, I think there was like one more. Let's see. He's going after other Republicans, calling them rhinos. Oh, okay. This is the one he said about the Epstein files. Okay. As I said on Friday night aboard the Air Force One to fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on from this great Democrat hoax perpetuated by the radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages on the public on Epstein and are looking at various Democrat operatives. Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relationship to Epstein, and the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. All I care about is that Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, in quotation marks. Why is affordability in quotation marks? And then he put in parentheses, where we are winning big. No, you're not. No, you're not. He just had to reduce tariffs on beef and all these other things because the prices are skyrocketing. And then, oh my God. And then there's this video. I haven't watched it yet, but there's this video of what's his face? Oh God, the guy who's gay in his administration, Scott Bessent, coming on there saying, well, the beef is more expensive because immigrants, when they're coming into this country, are bringing cows with them into the country and they're selling that beef, which is making everyone sick. Listen, who believes this shit? Come on. Republicans have to wake up at some point and realize they really think you're dumb. They're playing you for dumb. That is the most insane thing I have ever heard in my goddamn life. That is so insane. And anyone who believes that needs to I don't know. I don't know. They need to wake up. Because what the hell? Where did that come from? Is that like a talking point now? It's like when the agriculture secretary was like, just get chickens. It'll be okay. And if you can't afford to get chickens, then I don't know. The agriculture secretary, when they were talking about the price of eggs, she's like, well, everyone could just get a chicken. Do you understand how expensive it is to take care of a chicken? They're all insane. But no, Scott Bessent was really like, yeah, no, immigrants are bringing in cows to America and then selling that beef here in America, which is why beef is so expensive. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. Like, it's just so insane. Like, this is just so, like, it's so insane. It's just insane. Why? What? Excuse me? Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay. Our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing. Not true. That's a lie. Bringing down prices for the American people. Not true. That's a lie. Delivering historic tax cuts. Well, that's true, to billionaires. Gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America. A record! Exclamation point. Not true. The rebuilding of our military. Not true. Securing our border. I mean, deporting criminal illegal aliens. Again, not true. About 90% of the people that they've kidnapped have not committed any crimes. Ending men and women's sports. Stopping transgender for everyone. Again, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? And so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive. And if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before a landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall for the Epstein trap. This is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. So that was his crash out about the Epstein files. Now, what he's trying to do now is he's actually making the DOJ go after Democrats, like he said in there. He's having them go after people like Bill Clinton, like Larry Summers. And so he's having them just go over the Democrats. And I was watching Waj and Allison Gill the other day on Substack, and what they were saying, what Allison Gill was saying, is that what he's doing is he's starting this investigation so that way the people who are in charge of this investigation can go through the files and they can go through it. But now that it's going to be an investigation, the House and the Oversight Committee might not be able to see it because they could use the excuse, well, we're doing a current investigation. We don't want to jeopardize that. And so, that's what I think he's doing. And of course, he's only looking at the Democrats within that and not himself or any other like Republicans that are mentioned. Like Steve Bannon is mentioned many times. Excuse me. And so he is specifically just going after the Democrats and doing it on purpose. And I do think he's trying to do it in this way so it looks like he cares and he wants to look in it, but it's also in a way, I think it's also a way to like hide from the accountability, because if they're doing this investigation, again, they can just use the excuse, well, they don't want to jeopardize the investigation, so they can't leak it all to the public, or they can't make it visible to the public, which is what I think his ultimate goal is in this, and to just go after his enemies. So yeah, I saw that on Watch. Yeah, and I was like, well, if that's what they're doing, honestly, I guess that is kind of smart, and I don't know. I hope it doesn't work, but maybe it will. I don't know. Besson has so much money in Argentina, he would say anything for Trump to give him bail money. I just saw that online, and I was like, every day they're like, because they Republicans and conservatives and like Fox News lie to their base so much. They just lie, and they constantly lie to the point where there is a portion of our population that just does not live in reality, that lives in like an alternate universe where facts are not real. And so it just amazes me like how far they go and how outrageous the lies are every single time. And people still believe it. Like, people will still believe these outrageous lies. And I just don't understand. Because it's like, if you think about it for 2 seconds, it doesn't make any sense. And there's no way that there are people just bringing in cows It's just dumb. It's not happening. And like, again, if you just like think about it critically for like 2 seconds, you would realize that that's not happening. But there are people who will believe him, who will be like, well, no, that's why our beef is high. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me? What are you saying? It's just like how are we supposed to talk to people? How are we supposed to deal with this when there are people who like cannot live in reality and they have to keep making up. And like the other thing is they have to keep making up these crazier and crazier lies because people can see with their eyes that they're lying. Like the evidence that they are not good fiscally or they're not good with the economy is right there in your face. You see it every single day of your life. You live through it every single day. And so their lies are just so transparent now, and you can see it with your own eyes that they are lying, that they are not good at this, that this is not true. They're saying they got prices down. They have not. They're saying they got inflation down. No, everything is so expensive. Everything is crazy expensive, and they haven't done anything to help it. They've made it worse, and it's so obvious. And so now their lies have to just become more insane. And I wonder how long it'll last or how long people will believe it. But people do. There are people who believe it. All right. Now we're going to get to the part that everyone has been waiting for. Now we're going to get to the part that everyone has been waiting for. So there was... in the midst of all these emails, there was one email that caught everyone's eye, that everyone has been talking about, and it took the internet by storm, really. And that is the email about Donald Trump and Bubba. So let me bring this up real quick. Let's see. So this is one of the emails, and basically, in this email, Epstein's brother asks Trump if Putin has a picture of Donald Trump, like, blowing Bubba. So let's see. Okay, this is what it says. So in a leaked email, the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, Mark Epstein, asks if Vladimir Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Bill Clinton has been known as Bubba. So this is the email. And it says, I'd rather be in Donnie D's shoes. And then he said, you mean Donnie T. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It says, I thought he had, I don't know what it says. And he says, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. All good, Bannon with me. A while back, you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? And then he says, all good, Bannon with me. And then he says, ask him if, so he's basically telling Jeffrey to ask Bannon if Putin has the photo of Trump blowing Bubba. And so, of course, this took the internet by storm. And everyone is losing their minds right now. The internet has been a very fun place because apparently Bill Clinton, one of his nicknames is Bubba. And so everyone thinks that he was insinuating that Donald Trump blew Bill Clinton. And it's funny because there are pictures of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton being friendly. Donald Trump has been friendly with the Clintons. That's very well known. He was friends with them before he ran for president and went against Hillary Clinton. And so they used to be friends. And it's not, and so now everyone's losing their minds over it, right? I think it's hilarious. But the other thought was that Ghislaine had a horse named Bubba, but apparently the AP said that she did not have a horse named Bubba, although that would be an insane thing. And then this is... Oh my God. okay, I love her. This is villainous. She put Republicans after crashing Grindr at every convention and electing the first gay president. So that's the other thing. Everyone's talking about how Donald Trump is the first gay president now, because everyone thinks he blew Bill Clinton. And then John Marco said, it's sad to say, but for Republicans, I think the gay allegation is more damaging than the pedophilia one, which is something Hassan was also talking about. And unfortunately, I would have to agree. I also think that him being gay would be more damaging to his reputation than him being a pedophile. 1,000%. I in the MAGA base, 100%. But, of course, everyone was talking about it. So they were saying, Jeffrey Epstein asked his brother Mark Epstein whether Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba, which is Bill Clinton's nickname. And then that's the email again. There are 2 living presidents in this photo. So they're insinuating Trump is under the desk blowing him. And everyone, my favorite one was I got offline for 5 minutes and I come back on and Trump gave Bill Clinton a blowjob. It's so great. Okay, this is the other one that everyone's talking about, the big beautiful bill. I don't know if this has any sound. I don't think so. Is it close X for the night? Wake up. Trump and Bill did what? That's AI, of course. But yeah, there is a picture where he kind of has his hand down there, which is very weird. Gabe recognizes Gabe. I'm gonna drain the swamp. The swamp. Oh my god. Trump is not giving lover. I'm calling crap. Oh my gosh. Zing. From POTUS to Throatus. It's still funny. No, it is still funny. I guess Epstein's brother came out and said he did not mean Bill Clinton. But honestly, I don't know. There's that whole video of and I've had ladies talk about it all the time, but Trump mimicked doing a blowjob on a microphone at one of his rallies. He mimicked doing it. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. You never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. Anything could be true these days. Anything could be true. Maxwell has a horse named Bubba. Oh. Oh my god, that would be horrible. But honestly, listen, I'm not ruling out anything. You want to know why? Because I believe that I like, unfortunately, I, like Epstein, believe that there is no, that there is not, that Trump is dangerous and that he is a bad person and there's no good cell in his body. I believe him on that because I think the exact same thing about Trump. I think Trump only cares about power. I think he only cares about domination over people, whether that be people or, maybe a horse. I don't know. Who knows? But I think that's what Donald Trump is. I think he wants to dominate people. He wants to be the biggest. He wants to be the best. He's none of those things. And I think a lot of it stems from him not getting actual love from his dad or anyone in his family. And he feels like he needs to please his dad. And he never could. And so now he takes it out on the rest of us and feels like he needs to dominate everyone and needs to be this big showboat, even though he's pathetic. And he's not who he thinks he is. He's not. He's actually just a horrible person. So anyway, I don't put it past him. Yes, Arnold Palmer. Exactly. He talked about Arnold Palmer's penis and how big it was one day. Listen, there have been a lot of signs that Donald Trump might be a little gay. There's been a lot of signs. He loves the YMCA. He goes around doing it all the time. He does his weird dance thing. I'm telling you, there are a lot of signs. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me because a lot of conservative men are kind of closeted. Some of them are just really hateful people, but some of them are closeted and really just hate themselves. And so you never know, man. You never know. You never know. I think Donald Trump, I don't know. You never know. You never know. You never know. I don't listen. I put nothing past that man. Yeah, anyway. This is the picture, though. This is the picture. And so it looks weird because his hand is like kind of near his crotch, you know? Like it's weird. It's weird. Oh, and then I guess this is a Republican. Cry all you want. He's doing exactly what I hired him for. Okay, man. Okay. Co-parter, bro. Co-parter. Oh God, this is great. I love this. I love this so much. Okay, I don't know if this is real. There's a lot of people posting like old Twitter post of Donald Trump when Hillary was running, and it says if Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? It seems like he's a little jelly. Are you jealous? Are you jealous? He's like a scorned lover. That one is real? Oh my God. Okay, that makes me kind of believe it, honestly. He's like, you can't satisfy your husband, but I can. I can. Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. This conspiracy is starting to add up. He used to be moderate on bathroom access. Honestly, oh God. Oh my God, this is great. Oh, this is great. Okay, all right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is what Alex Jones has to say, and I think he's proving the theory about listen, let's just hear what he has to say. Okay. All right.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding.
Look at the guy next to him. The guy next to him's like, I don't know, man. The guy next to him is so uncomfortable. He's like coming out of his seat. He's like, I don't know if I'm with you on that one. I don't know, man. Look. Okay, wait. He's like coming out of his seat. He's so uncomfortable.
Owen. I never sucked any ding-dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Didn't you already tell Der Spiegel that?
No, the son of a bitch walked in there in my own office when I'd splattered stuff on myself and I was changing shirts. He goes, oh, that's a good shot. Let's get your shirts. And then I go, hey, have some of this chicken and sausage. So technically I said, Jones offered me his sausage. Yeah, give me a break, you son of a bitch. I like women, not men. And if I like men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a line of them. But I ain't ever been in bed with no man. I've been in bed with probably 300 women. And you sons of bitches sit there and you play these games, and I'm sick of it. So, there's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong.
I'm sorry, that's so funny.
And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen.
He was so uncomfortable. Okay, oh my God, that was really funny. Oh God, it was really funny. He splattered stuff on my shirt. I know. Yeah, no, I think I think you're right. This is an older clip of him, of Alex Jones, but God, is it funny. God, is that so fucking funny. Oh, that's so funny. Oh man. Okay, and then this is another funny one. So the White House, they've been posting pictures of Trump and Melania. Like one was like the power couple, like America's power couple, and then they did this one. I can't help falling in love with you. And Hassan said, so did he suck him off? Oh my God, I think it's hilarious because it's so suspicious. Why are you posting pictures of him and Melania? Like, come on. We know for a fact, we know that she does not like him. She does not like him, okay? We know this, all right? And the simple fact that they just keep posting them makes me really suspicious. Also, didn't they isn't that how they met? Like I know that there have been reports saying that the first time they ever had sex was on the Lolita Express, Trump and Melania. And so I mean, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's a little weird. It's a little crazy that this is what they're posting right now. Yeah, it's wild. The memes have been great. It says, Putin, please, bro, I'm begging. This is literally your time to shine. Dear God, please let this be real. It'd be so fucking funny. Oh my God, they did a Brokeback Mountain. It would appear so. Oh, this is so funny. Oh, I've seen this one a lot too. Voting for someone who gave head to Bill Clinton, 2016 Democratic candidate, 2016 Republican candidate, the illusion of free choice. Oh, that's an RM drop. Yeah. This one is real. Oh God, I love this. I love this so much. Oh my God, I love this. And people oh God, this is great. This is wonderful. So that's been what's going on. That's been all the memes, and I think it's really hilarious. And you know what? Honestly, it might not be true, but in my head canon it is. In my head, I really want to believe it. And wouldn't it be so funny? Wouldn't it be so funny if they really did elect the first LGBTQ president? Wouldn't that be so funny? Well, someone said, what was it? You, chosen one, that said second. Who was the first one supposedly? Was it John F. Kennedy? Didn't John F. Kennedy have like wasn't there like a rumor that he had like a boyfriend? But anyway, it would be kind of funny. It would be kind of funny if they did vote for. It would be kind of funny. No, it was not me. No. Oh, okay. It was someone. Someone said he was the second, but I don't know. I don't know who said he was the second. I could go back and look. I'm not sure. But I think I'm trying to figure out who the first one would be. Oh, it was Creflo. Oh, sorry. It was me. And I heard it was James Buchanan. Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that. Because I know there was rumors about John F. Kennedy because he had like a really good friend, I think, that was always around. And so there was like this rumor that was actually like his boyfriend, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure there have been like a lot of like bi or queer presidents. They're just not out. Okay, yeah. I'll have to look into that for James Buchanan. I actually think I've heard about that. I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you for answering though, because I was wondering. So thank you, Creflo. All right. So those are the memes. They're really funny. The internet is hilarious and is actually really funny and not super incredibly maddening for the first time in a long time. So that's really exciting. And things are not great still, but the backlash against this, conservatives like scrambling to have a narrative against this, and then them scrambling to have a narrative on affordability and Zoran and everything else, it's actually giving me hope for the first time in a really, really long time. So I've been happy for the first time in a really long time. So yes. Yes, I'm glad that there's at least some, I don't know, just not horribly devastating news all of the time, and we can have some laughs. And yeah, so yeah, the last thing I wanted to show you is that there's actually been a lot of protests outside of the White House. And I know I can show you one. Apparently they put like crime scene tape around the White House, which is badass. But there have been huge protests outside of the White House saying that he should resign ever since these Epstein emails leaked. And I agree. he should resign. So I just kind of wanted to show these.
But now we have to become organizers, every single one of us. And these four
Okay. Just look at, I guess they were having like a rally. Oh, okay. I just wanted to see. There's a lot of people out there, but yeah, everyone's impeach, conveyed, remove.
I don't care if it's the tariffs. I don't care if it's the destruction.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. Saying it's live, so I don't know if it's happening right now or if this was the other day. I think this is the other day and they're just showing it live again, but yeah. Yep. So yeah, people are, this is, you know, I will say I didn't know if the Epstein files were going to really be that big of a thing to, you know, I mean, of course it's huge for the survivors, and the survivors should get the justice that they deserve. But I wasn't sure it was going to be that hard hitting of a point against Trump. And I could be wrong. I actually think it might be. It might be his downfall. Who knows? Of course, there will always be people who will support him no matter what. But who knows, really? Who knows? This could actually get people to understand. Yeah, why or see through all the lies. Hopefully. I try not to create false hope for myself, but it's hard not to right now. See, I've been so like, I feel like I've been so black-pilled that like I think it's good to try to have hope. And like a lot of people are saying, hope is like a discipline, and so we need to try to keep that hope alive, that we can make a better life for everyone, that a better world does exist and we can make it happen. Yeah, like I said, I went canvassing for DSA yesterday, so that also helped me feel a little bit better, because there were a lot of people out to go canvass and just talk to people about what their concerns are. And so I do think that like people are getting engaged, people are getting involved, and that's a good thing. So I also have hope, because I went canvass for DSA yesterday, and that was nice. That was a good like reminder that most people are not happy with what's going on. And if you talk to regular people, they will tell you that, you know? Yeah, totally unrelated, but the way you laugh reminds me of local Missouri news anchor Carissa Cotto when she laughs when reading viewer comments or news voice. Thank you. I'll have to check her out. I've never watched that. I'll have to look at that. Thank you. I have a very yeah, I guess my laugh's kind of funny. Yeah. But yeah. All right. That is all I had for today about the Epstein files. I just wanted to go through everything that happened, because there was so much going on. And so I thought it'd be fun to just go through everything that has been happening between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Megyn Kelly, and just all the emails and the crash outs and all sorts of stuff. Like I said earlier, I will be out of town next week, so I am going to post another video on Wednesday instead of a live. I'm not really sure what the video is going to be yet. So if you guys have any ideas or have any topics you want me to cover, just let me know. Comment on any of my posts or my live posts, or I don't know, just let me know. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, I'll take requests. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, that was the live. Thank you all for being here. This was so fun. It was so funny when I posted the video on Wednesday. I was like, man, I really miss everyone. It's so fun to just sit here and like talk to you all and react together. So yeah, that was funny. I posted the video. I was like, man, I miss talking to everyone. So this was really fun. I could do a video on Anna defending Nick Fuentes. Yes, you're right. Okay, yes, actually I should do that. I'll do that. That's a great idea. Because we were talking about that earlier. So yeah, I'll look into that. I need to do that. That's a wonderful idea. Thank you. I will definitely do that. But yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And then of course I'll be live. I'll still be live next Sunday. And I'm very excited. And so yeah, thank you all for being here. Today was so fun. And yes, it was nice to have a little bit of a laugh. A little bit of the laugh after the Democrats just completely caved to a insane bill that is more insane than we thought it was initially. All right. Before we go, I would like to say thank you to my members. Thank you, Troy Roberto, Crystal Safira, and Creflo. Love you all very, very much. And if you haven't, I just posted a new membership video about Hillary Duff. Check that out. And then, yeah, I will see you all next Sunday, and then I'll have a video on Wednesday. Yes, good night, everyone. Love you all. Have a good night. Yes, the Democrats did F us. They 100% did. They 100% did. The amount of crazy things that they put in that bill is wild, and they let it through anyway, which is maddening. But anyway, tonight was a fun night, so we're not talking about we're not going to get into that. But anyway, yes, love you all. Have a good night, and hopefully week ahead. All right. Bye.